This video gets political in the second half. So if you don't like politics, go ahead and click off of this video because I don't want to see you whining in my comment section. So just do yourself a favor and click off. If you asked me a year ago what I thought about TikTok, I would have told you that TikTok is the most repulsive app ever created. I would have said to delete this app off of your phones right now because it reduces your attention span, because it's a waste of time, because you have better things to be doing than be scrolling on TikTok all day, right? I have multiple videos on my channel talking about how much I hate TikTok, talking about how much I think that TikTok shouldn't be on your phone. If you're on TikTok, you are wasting your time. You're wasting your life by scrolling constantly, doing nothing productive, right? My opinions have since changed. And I really do think TikTok does have a place in the world and it really shouldn't be banned. And before I even get into the reasons why it shouldn't be banned, I gotta address a lot of things. I gotta address specifically these self improvement people who, just like me, think that TikTok is the worst thing to ever create it. TikTok is this. TikTok is like, these people don't know how to use their brains properly. They don't know that you can have your own opinion. You don't need to follow what everyone else is saying about TikTok, right? A lot of people will just listen to what the most popular person in self improvement will say. They tell you that TikTok should be banned. Okay, now we gotta follow this dude because he says TikTok is bad for you. He says something else about TikTok. Oh yeah, TikTok definitely. Yeah, bro, it's a waste of time for sure. You gotta start using your brain, bro. Like you've been given a brain for a reason. You might as well start using it sometime soon. Because okay, let's break down these arguments with TikTok being such a waste of time. TikTok reducing your attention span. Ever since computers have been created, our attention span has been decreasing. Every single alert you get on your computer, on your phone, every single notification, every phone call, every text message, every email, everything that takes away from your focus is reducing your attention span. If you are studying right now because you have exams, it's finals week, right? And your mom tells you to come to the kitchen to help her with something, you go over and help her, you come back, your attention span has been reduced. You're not going to be able to build it back up until like you practice working on your attention again, right? Your attention span is so fragile. It's not just because of TikTok, but all people want to do is scapegoat TikTok, put all the blame on TikTok because that's the easiest solution, right? Just blame TikTok and forget about it. No, your attention span goes a lot deeper than just blaming it on TikTok. Does it affect your attention span? Of course. Like, I'm not denying the fact that you will sabotage your attention span by spending too much time on TikTok, but that doesn't mean that you stop using TikTok because you got to be able to learn how to use it. People don't know how to use it. That's just the average person. And you can be average. Like, I'm not telling you not to be average, but if you want to be average, go ahead. Go have terrible attention span. Go waste your time doing nothing but scrolling on TikTok. But if you use it the smart way, the way smart people use TikTok, you can actually benefit from it. You know, TikTok has a search bar. You can search for things on TikTok just like you search it on Google, just like you search things on YouTube, search things on Instagram, whatever, wherever place you search for something, you can search for it on TikTok too. And because the way TikTok is designed, you have these like short minute long videos, 3 minute long videos. People will not waste your time. Of course, there's TikTok clickbaiters too that will waste your time with the whole TikTok without actually telling you anything. But most of the time, you'll find TikToks that get straight to the point that actually start telling you what you want to know. Like, let's say you are on TikTok because you want to learn how to meditate, and you find like you type meditation into like the search bar on TikTok. The first couple of videos are literally people getting straight to the point about how to meditate. They are wasting 0 seconds of your time and they are telling you how to actually do what you're searching for. Rather than you search meditation on YouTube, you'll find all these videos, like these 10, 15 long videos where people are just yapping for 10 minutes straight, telling you their life story that you don't even care about. You just want to know how to meditate, but they don't even get to meditation until like the last 2 minutes of the video. If you like listening to people yap, then I guess like there's nothing I can say about that. Honestly, I respect that fact that you can actually openly admit it. If you want to listen to me yap, just go and subscribe, right? You might as well, since you're on my page. The other argument that people make is that, oh, well, TikTok is a waste of time. Like, all you're doing is just scrolling. Yeah, if you don't know how to use it. Like I said, the easiest way I can describe this, honestly, is like, let's say you have a 5-year-old son and you go tell your son, okay, let's name him Billy. Billy, I'm gonna give you the keys to my car, and you're gonna drive yourself to school. Billy's all excited, like, wow, I've never driven a car before. Let me go and hop in the car right now. Let me turn the car on. Let me put in my seatbelt. And next thing you know, he crashes 2 blocks down the road, which, can you really blame him? Like, he is 5 years old. What do you expect from a 5-year-old? Like, he doesn't know how to drive. He doesn't know what he's doing. He can't even reach the pedals properly without having to like stand up and see what's in front of him, right? So obviously this 5-year-old is going to crash the car. After Billy crashes the car, can you say that this car is defective? Can you say that this car is dangerous because Billy just crashed his car? Like, obviously this car is dangerous, right? Like, this car should be taken off the road immediately. All these cars should be recalled. Like, no one should be driving cars now, right? That would honestly be so stupid to do. Like, imagine you take everybody's license away, you take everybody's car away, just because Billy doesn't know how to drive his car. Now everybody has to get their car taken away. You would start thinking, okay, well, why is Billy even driving? Why is Billy 5 years old and driving a car? Why can't he wait till he's 16, 17 years old to get his permit before he starts driving, right? That is the same way with TikTok. You don't know how to use this app and you want to go and blame the app because you are stupid. That's the argument a lot of these self-improvement people make, is that they'll see people abusing TikTok. They'll see people scrolling on TikTok for 3, 4, 5 hours straight every single day. They do nothing but scroll on TikTok. Is that really TikTok's fault? Is that really, like, of course, like, TikTok is super addicting. Of course, like, it's been engineered to keep you addicted. But is it really TikTok's fault, or is it the person's fault for using TikTok and to continuously use TikTok knowing that he has an addiction? It's just like Billy driving a car. Like, he'll just continuously use TikTok over and over again for hours at a time without realizing how much time has passed because he doesn't know how to control himself. He hasn't built up the habits to properly use TikTok, right? You know, he's using TikTok the way like normal people use TikTok, by just mindlessly scrolling without a care in the world. That is not TikTok's fault, honestly. That is your fault if you're doing that. If you actually learn how to use TikTok, like, you get your driver's license, you learn how to drive the car properly, you know how to use the brakes, you know how to steer, you know how to drive in traffic and stuff, then absolutely you should be using TikTok, because it is actually at that point an asset that you own. You can use TikTok to your advantage compared to a 5-year-old Billy who doesn't know how to use TikTok, who's going to be scrolling all day because he just wants mindless entertainment, right? Speaking of mindless entertainment, everything is entertainment. These self-improvement maxing people just want to constantly go after self-improvement, constantly improve themselves, which is absolutely fine. But then they'll say something along the line like, yeah, I do zero entertainment. I watch zero movies. I watch zero social media. I watch zero YouTube videos and stuff. I have zero life, basically. That's what it sounds like to me, because you want to say that you don't use TikTok for entertainment, but you've turned self-improvement into your entertainment. You know, you pick your poison. Everything is entertainment at the end of the day. It just comes in different forms. I read books to gain knowledge, but reading books has become my form of entertainment. You know, I write to actually process my thoughts better, but writing has become my form of entertainment. So it's like, you can say that, okay, it's all just like mindless entertainment. Self-improvement can be mindlessly entertaining too. It's just that you don't want to see it and you don't want to acknowledge it, right? So that is all for my like mini rant for like these self-improvement dudes talking about how much they hate TikTok, because I was one of them, which is why I really do want to speak on it, because I know there's somebody who's like in the same position I was a year ago, bashing TikTok, talking about how much TikTok is a waste of time, when they're just like mindlessly following what the other dude said about TikTok. And here's the thing too, like, all the people on self-improvement, you got to realize TikTok has done more for self-improvement than any YouTube videos that you've watched. Sure, like, YouTube definitely started it, but the reason why there are so many people on it now, the reason why so many young kids go to the gym, the reason why so many young kids are focused on looks maxing is because of TikTok. TikTok is the reason why all these kids have gotten onto it, because it was the most easiest way for them to be introduced to it. What 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old who's in high school, who has no attention span, who's gonna watch a 20-minute, 30-minute video on YouTube about how to improve their life when they can't even focus on their teachers? So these TikToks that are like 30 seconds long that you deem to be useless, these TikToks are the reasons why these young kids are starting to actually improve on themselves. And they're making progress at an age where all you did was play video games. All you did was smoke weed. You know what I mean? So it's like, can you really hate them? Can you really hate on TikTok for doing so much? Of course, there is cringe on the app. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there is a lot of cringe shit on TikTok. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there's a silver lining to it. But here's the thing, my problem with banning TikTok. The reasoning that the US is throwing around, they say it's because of the data leaks on TikTok. TikTok is stealing your information, therefore it needs to be banned. But we're forgetting about all the data breaches that multiple different companies in the US has had. Like, off top of my head, I know Facebook has had plenty of data breaches since, I don't know, the past 10 years. Why is Facebook not banned? LinkedIn had data breaches too. Why is LinkedIn not banned? Why is Yahoo not banned? Why is Microsoft not banned? All these like giant companies in the US, they're not banned. They have data breaches all the time. So what makes TikTok any different? But because TikTok isn't American, it's Chinese, now all of a sudden it's a problem, huh? Because they can't force their regulations onto TikTok, even after all these like transparency laws that TikTok has passed to like follow guidelines. Apparently it's not enough. So the US wants to get rid of it altogether, which actually sucks. I think the other argument was that China is using TikTok to spy on Americans, which is the craziest thing coming from the US government, who is notorious for spying on us through our phones and stuff. We're basically being tracked by the FBI 24/7. And they want to say that, well, TikTok is spying on you, so let's ban TikTok, which is, it makes zero sense. I mentioned this in like a recent video about how you need to learn how to use social media rather than just brushing it off, saying that it's a waste of time. If you know how to use TikTok to your advantage, you can learn a lot. And I basically at this point use TikTok as my form of news. I don't go on like any news channels to look up news. I don't go on like ABC News. I don't go on like Fox News, whatever news channels there are, MSNBC, whatever. Because all these news channels are biased. Fox is super biased to the right. ABC is biased to the left. I like, it's like you really can't even watch anything because you don't know who's funding these news companies, news channels and stuff. And you find out that the people who are actually running these news channels are getting paid by the same people who are telling them to report the news that they're reporting, which is like, it is so sketchy, right? So I would much rather get my news from TikTok from people who are actually discovering both sides. I think with what's happening, like with all these riots going on in different universities, like literally I can go on Fox News right now, look up about how their universities protests are happening on universities all around the world. They'll start labeling as anti-Israel. Like, what are you talking about anti-Israel? This has nothing to do with anti-Israel. Like, you just go on these news websites and read the headlines. Some of it like say like spoiled children have seized colleges we pay for. You're like, are you serious, bro? Is this your version of the story? Like, this is absolutely false. What are you talking about, spoiled children? This has nothing to do with children being spoiled, seizing colleges, because you guys don't know how to do your jobs to run a country, so we're going to take it for ourselves, right? These are spoiled and entitled children cosplaying as being revolutionaries while expecting hard-earning taxpayers to foot the bill. Yeah, because our tax dollars are being sent overseas, bro. Like, what are you talking about? So this is what I mean. Like, it doesn't even matter like what news source like you go to, Fox, ABC, all of them suck. All of them are bullshit, bro. Like, I just go on TikTok because I know TikTok is the most reliable. That's why they're trying to ban it, because they understand that they can't control it. The funniest thing is that Congress can never vote unanimously on something. They're always arguing about increasing minimum wage, the border patrol, right? About gun laws and stuff. They're always arguing about stuff. Every single thing you can think of, there's always disagreements. But somehow, unanimously, every single person voted to ban TikTok. I wonder why. Because you can't hide the truth anymore on TikTok. You see both sides of the argument. You see both sides of the war. You see both sides of political issues. You see both sides of whatever is going on in the world, because people just want to show you the one-sided truth, half-assed truth. And then they want to brush it off and say, no, China's lying to you. The rest of the world's lying to you. I'm telling the truth, right? Like, it's wild because you can speak on it on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever, any one of those platforms, you will either get banned, shadow banned, or you get your post removed. Your will get blurred. Your post will get labeled as misinformation. They'll do all these things to like cover up the truth, right? My channel, me speaking on this can literally get my channel demonetized, which is crazy. But if I go post about it on TikTok, TikTok does not care. TikTok does not care if it's the truth, if it's false information, whatever. If it's false information, you're going to get your ass called out for it. Some people might say, well, Aman, why do you care about politics so much? Why do you care if you want like information spread properly or not? Because you have misinformation spreading. You have a certain narrative being spread that only hurts people in the long run. You have people being spread lies. They end up growing up believing those lies. They end up passing those lies that they've been told their whole lives down to their kids. Their kids grow up believing these lies, and then you create this whole cycle of hate against people for absolutely no reason. The only reason why racism exists in this world today is because racism is taught. Nobody is inherently born racist. Nobody. If you take away all these racist people in the world, eliminate them, Thanos snap them right now, there will be no more racist people growing up. All the racism is gone just like that. It's the only reason why racism exists is because people keep teaching it down to their kids teach it down to their kids. Nothing happens other than people start throwing hate towards this certain demographic, and it basically never ends. You want to know how many times I've been called a terrorist since I was born, bro? I've been called a terrorist since I was like 7, 8 years old, dog. And I still get called it. Like, y'all need to come up with something original to say, because it's getting old now. People are starting to see through it. And the only reason why that happens is because people were tricked into believing misinformation, which they're clearly trying to take back control because they realize TikTok is a threat. And if you take out TikTok, well, what do people have to share news on? They could share news on Instagram. Well, Instagram could delete your posts just like that. YouTube, you're getting your videos taken down. Because if you really think about it, TikTok is the only reason why anyone is united right now. Only reason why all these people are standing up together, because they realize, yo, America is lying to us. They're not going to help us. They're going to just keep feeding us more lies, because they've lied about different wars. They've lied about the Afghanistan war, the Vietnam war, 9/11, all these different like things that they've lied to us about. They just brushed it up, covered it up to make us feel better, when really we don't need to be feeling better. We need to know what the truth is, and the only way we've been actually getting it nowadays is through TikTok. So that's really my problem with the TikTok ban.